Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk the fate of Abraham. Alright guys, there's no real way to do this without discussing some of the comic book Abraham story. Now I will tell you right now before we jump into this, I strongly believe they're not going to give Abraham his comic book fate, at least not exactly. So if that helps you and you want to continue to watch this video, go ahead and watch it. If you don't want to know anything at all from the comic book, this is a video you're probably not going to want to watch because we will be discussing a huge part of comic book Abraham and where his story went. And we're getting into that right now. So if you don't want to know anything at all, move on to a video that I got a ton of videos. I got like 700 of them. So go find something else that you can enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one. Anyway, spoilers in 3, not even that spoilers, but I'm just being extra cautious. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. Alright, so comic book Abraham, right around this part in the story, he goes on a perimeter check with Eugene. They're talking about relationships, and this is right after, I believe it was relationships, this is right after the Holly, which is technically what Sasha's doing right now, relationship-wise, with Abraham, and Rosita. Abraham in the comics left Rosita, went with Holly. Eugene and Abraham are walking around the perimeter. Rick in the comic has already, Rick and Andrea and Michonne and them, killed a group of saviors, sent one of them back with a message to Negan. So this right now in the comic book would technically be what would happen after a mix of episode 12 and episode 9. You know, it's remixed. But anyway, so they're walking. Dwight sneaks up, pops Abraham in the back of the head, killing him with an arrow through the eye. Now, yes, that would be pretty crazy if Dwight shows up with Daryl's crossbow and kills Abraham. However, Kirkman has come out and said that he's very excited that we are getting, comic Abraham's story. It was an impulsive decision in the comic book, and he regretted it a little after he even said, I just wanted the scene to be da-da-da-da. Now, I do agree with him. It's better to give us more of Abraham, because in the comic book, it wasn't one of those deaths where I was like, holy boom, I was kind of like, oh, that character literally started hooking me. I really wanted to see a little more. I just feel like, So I am not a fan of that death. I think it's one of the worst. If I had to make a worst character death video, he would be on it for sure in a comic. But he's been telling us. Now, that's very different to, like, when he says in the comic, for example, he said, Negan is never doing this. And then in the very next issue, Negan did exactly that. Now, that's just something he has to say. That's something completely different than when he's in an interview and he's talking about how excited he is to carry on Abraham's story. It's just completely different. And I think that's a very shitty thing to do with the fans. It's beyond trolling. At that point, it's just, don't even talk about it if you're going to say, like, oh, I am very excited to do more comic book stuff, and then you decide, hey, let's bring in aliens. It would be the same thing, same level of disappointment. Anyhow, so in my opinion, with this scene between Sasha going up to Abraham on the TV show now and saying Eugene is going to take over your post, or take over her post, her position, and do a perimeter check, because we saw them coming in. They're doing a perimeter check on the outside. And us seeing Abraham in his beanie and his hat, I love that from the comic, his hat and his coat, going on that run to hit the Saviors with Rick and them in the next episode. I'm feeling real comfortable that was actually just a misleading hint, in there for us comic fans, and it's got a lot of comic fans riled up. I still think that might be not only misleading, but it's trying to take our attention off of Tara and Heath. I am starting to think now, and this could be the Tara thing going on a run could be to hide her pregnancy. Absolutely. However, Sasha, was pregnant last season, towards the end of the season as well, and they had her in there hiding it using camera angles, so they can do that. Like, it's doable. Now, so let's just say there is a chance Tara could take that death. Now they're starting to build the Denise-Tara relationship, so maybe that's a sign that they actually have more plans for Tara, and they're not going to kill her just yet. Maybe they do just take Tara and Heath captive at the same time. However, there's another Fox promo that just ran where there's a captive situation, and I don't want to talk about it here, but I'm going to try to do a video on that. But it doesn't make sense they would do two captive things, storylines, literally in an episode apart from each other, or 2 episodes apart. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that has me believing right now, that promo, that the death with Dwight is off the table for Abraham, and it might even be off the table for any other character out there. However, it still could be there. Bottom line, I do believe Abraham's fate is sealed, and that's a good thing. He will make it to All Out War. At least I'm really hoping so. I do not believe he's going to get his comic book fate, and I believe this is just misdirection to get us to, keep eyes on him while they hit us with someone else. Now, listen, here's something that I'm going to just bring up briefly that I think we need to discuss that's very exciting. At least I don't hear anyone talking about it, and I'm very excited. But Dwight's return, it's going to be epic. Or at least I feel like it's going to be epic. And a surprise. Any moment now, I'm waiting for that surprise return of Dwight. And they can do it, and it's set up perfect now. Because like I said a while ago, if you set up Dwight pre-Burnface and then bring him back, you now have the potential to incorporate that kill shot, Don't have Abraham, have somebody else. It doesn't need to be all epic, but you can plug that in there with even a minor character, it doesn't matter, and it'd be a shock, because we could all be chatting just like this. Okay, well, somebody walks out and says, hey, Abraham, Eugene, we gotta go over, bong, he gets an arrow to the face. Abraham and Eugene put their guns up, run in. We don't need no hostage shit, because they're already doing that. So then the Saviors could run up. There could be a small battle. They could flee, because the idea is to draw Rick and his gang away from Alexandria. So that could be the idea. So that's what I'm thinking is a possibility. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. I do think Abraham is safe. However, I do believe they're remixing this in a way to give us a shocking return of Dwight, which would be epic. Now I'm really excited thinking about the possibilities. Not only that, maybe they're trying to lure the group out into a fight, into ambushing them out on the road. So I do believe that's also going to get reworked in there. And it's very exciting. I love this season. I love this season. There was a stumble in the beginning of the season, and that was because of my expectations for No Way Out. But there is so much in the first few episodes. Going back and rewatching now and then, there's so much I really like. And we're going to dissect everything in the world with The Walking Dead coming up, especially during the break. I'm going to try to get as much videos as I can done. With that said, give me your thoughts and opinions on Abraham. Do you think he's safe? Do you think he's a dead man walking? Do you think somebody else is going to get his death, his comic book death? Do you think they're going to skip it all together? Do you think they're even going to do that? Do you think anything? Or do you have any thoughts inside your head at all? Put those down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.